the center for asking me to be here on the valedictory function of this faculty workshop. It's nice to see Professor Lakhotia here and all the colleagues of the center and all the participants. I congratulate the participants for having been in this workshop. And I'm sure during the 5 days, you all have learned many things about what science, technology, engineering, and the teaching should be. I'm not going to talk about the teaching part itself, but a few things that Professor Lakhotia said, let me recap those. One is, he said, no, that without evidence-based science, STEM learning is not possible. I'll extend it. No learning is possible without evidence-based knowledge. Because everywhere we need to have evidence, we need to have logic, we need to have understanding of that. So evidence is a must everywhere in any learning that we do. Then in STEM, what we have right now is, and unfortunately that is continuing, we have compartments. Bioscience, pure science, earth science. Now they need to be broken, and this is what Professor Lakhotia was alluding to. That in 2007 to 2009, in Science Academy, we had discussed in great detail. We had come out with a proposal for 4-year BS and integrating the different subjects where students can learn, bio students can learn physics and mathematics, and vice versa. Somehow that didn't work out, but then I hope that the NEP 2020, which is talked about it, does it more successfully and does it more clearly, because we definitely need integrated learning. That's a must. If we want, see, the point is, science cannot be learned in isolation of other subjects. They all have to be, and within science, I can't learn biology without knowing physics and without knowing chemistry or mathematics. I mean, the whole thing has become so integrated that those of us who learned long back pure zoology and pure botany and something, even today I feel sad that we didn't learn all these things. If we had learned, it could have much better, and I hope that the present generation gets that opportunity. The other thing that's important, particularly in STEM learning, is the laboratory work. Unless we do experiments, unless we do field work, unless we do experimental analysis, and as Lakhotia said, that if we keep on doing what was done 30 years ago, that there can be problems. Yes, certain things need to be done because they are core, but then we can go beyond, we can develop more things, and also, you see, one point that I would like to emphasize on everybody concerned with teaching, we have modern gadgets, very sophisticated gadgets. I don't feel particularly happy with about them, because very often these modern gadgets, you press button and you get something without knowing why and how the output that you see on the screen is coming up. So it's not necessary that you only have modern gadget and then things are possible. Even age-old techniques and methods can sometimes be useful, but as teachers, we need to keep on innovating. We need to keep on finding out how best we can do that using the available facilities. Every place may not have all the facilities that are needed, but we do have a brain which can innovate, which can find out how to do things. Because this is what I know. I've been very happy that we did fabricate many equipments in our own lab, because we had limited money. We had to fabricate and come up with the best of the publication that could be possible. Even in classroom, I'm still trying. Like I edited a book on using Drosophila as experimental model in biological laboratories. Because now rats and mice and they can be used, so biological factors are becoming almost absent. So that's been developed, and we're coming out with the second edition, about 100 different techniques that can be used in lab with this small fruit fly. And I'm happy that PBK recently approved us a 5-year program where you can train college teachers in that. So we plan to organize 5 workshops every year, train about 15 teachers in every workshop, and so that they can go back and start those practice in the classroom so the students learn. And this is what I think all the faculty who are participating in these workshops need to expand that base, because we are training the trainers so that the whole thing gets expanded. And I hope the participants who have been here will have benefited and they share that knowledge with their colleagues. Now, what I have presented here is expectations from teachers. Now, what I'm going to share is what great people have stated. Nothing that I have stated, but I have been enthused by these statements. The founder of this university, Madan Malviya, when he led this university, his objective was Banaras University will seek not merely to turn out men as engineers, scientists, doctors, merchants, theologists, but also men of high character, probity, and honor, whose conduct through life would show that they bear the hallmark of the great university. This is exactly what a teacher has to be. Teacher as a role model. This is what Malvi just stated. Can we go to next? Or can we get full screen?
Yes, sir. This is all.
नहीं
You see, because Malvi had this dream, we are here, and this university remains one of the leading universities in the country and world. Now, Mahatma Gandhi has said about the aim of university education should be to turn out true servants of the people who will live and die for the country's freedom. This is something that we need to imbibe that, yes, as we are not learning intellectual activities, we are not learning this subjects, but we also learn something beyond that. Next one. Rabindranath Tagore, who set up the Vishwabharati University, the highest education that is does not really give us information, but makes our life in harmony with our expectations. This information part I'd like to emphasize. Very often when we teach in classroom, we load students with information. Internet is loaded with information and students get an overlap. What we need is not just information, but understanding, concepts. And that's what I think teachers should try to do in classroom, that instead of giving just information, loads of this, and asking students to go through internet and learn it, teach them concepts, teach them how concepts develop, what are the historical background which led to development of those concepts. That will be what useful. For example, if one talks in Einstein's theory of relativity, one can talk about theory of relativity, but then it will also be useful for students to learn what were the conditions prevailing at that time, what led Einstein to think in that direction, what led the development of that, because then students also begin to think and begin to understand. And that's what Rabindranath Tagore also said, don't give merely information. Next one. Oppenheimer, one of the great physicists, no man should escape our university without knowing how little he knows. This is again very important. We think, I may think, all right, at this age, having taught for so many years, I know everything. No, every day we learn new things. A teacher remains a student whole life. And this has to be, this is what exactly it says, that when you come out of university, all that we know is there's so much unknown for us. You see, like I always try to say, when we know something, what we know is what we do not know. That so far I've known so much, but there's so much thing that is not known, and that's what is important, that we should make our students curious to ask the next thing, next information. Next one. Now, Aurobindo, who had written a lot about education, had done a lot of work as writing, he said three basic principles of education. Nothing can be taught. The teacher is not an instructor or taskmaster, he is helper and a guide. So this is again, this kind of thing will come in another statement as well, that we are only guiding them. We are not just teaching and giving it, because information is not a commodity that we can take out of my brain and give it to someone else. It's a share, it's expanded in that way. And therefore, mind has to be considered in its own growth. The idea of hammering the child to shape desired by the parent or the teacher is barbarous and ignorant superstition. This is one unfortunate situation that our society really suffers. Parents want, my son should be a doctor. Student is not interested at all. My son should be an engineer. Student, the child is not interested at all. We force them and we see what's happening in both our other places. This is where we need, this is what exactly I said, work from the near to the far, from that which is to what which shall be. Student, the young child's capacity, where his or her interests lie, that's what we need to promote. That's where teacher comes in to promote that thing. If teacher accepts that every student in the classroom should excel. No, that cannot happen. But they can excel in different ways. What we need to understand is what is the potential of the student. How, in which direction they can do, not just my liking of subject is important. It's actually synthesis, and as a parents also become important for them to understand what their children can do or cannot do. So, and Socrates, of course, long back, one cannot teach anybody anything, but should make them think. Same point again. Just not giving information. Because as says, knowledge is the only thing which expands when you share. It doesn't get diminished. And that's what we need to do, that we share and we make them think so that they can go beyond. Next one. And again, same thing, education, not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. That all that we want to do students to learn is how to logically analyze, interpret, and come up with new ideas. Next. And now this is something very important. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. Because we expect a fish to climb and fish can't climb, and we laugh at it. This is what very often we do in classroom. We expect students to know everything, but doesn't know, and we laugh at it, which is wrong. We should help that student to learn, to understand, to analyze, and then interpret. And that's what we need to do that. Next one. Sir Radhakrishnan, great philosopher, great educationist, and of course, a vice chancellor of this university, long back, and then president of India. He has written a lot about education. The first thing he says is the Arthakarika Vidya, that the knowledge that we learn should help students earn a living. That means to earn them something so that they can survive. Education, according to Indian tradition, is initiation in the life of spirit, a training of human soul in pursuit of truth and the practice of virtue. This is what our traditional wisdom is, and I think this is not just about all of the humanity. When we talk of real humanity, the whole purpose is that we begin to do things of virtue to others as well. All education is on one side a search for the truth, on the other side it is pursuit of social betterment. While we do such, for example, as researchers, we may do basic research, we may do, but then the ultimate purpose is by knowing more about basic principles in nature, we can help the society to get a better idea about what things are, how things are, and that also can lead to application as well. Education should give the children not only intellectual stimulation, but a purpose. That's where they know that, okay, having learned this is what they can do. Any satisfactory system of education should insist on both knowledge and wisdom. Now, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is okay, you know certain facts, but wisdom goes beyond. You synthesize facts, you synthesize understanding, common sense, and then you decide what to be done. And therefore, that's what it says, Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. It should not only train the intellect, but bring grace into the heart of man. That's where the knowledge becomes important. He says, again, a university is essentially a corporate of teachers and students. The relation between the two have been of a sacred character. The kind of education that we provide for our youth determines overwhelmingly by the kind of men and women we secure as teachers. If teachers are good, students are bound to be good. Because, you see, I'm sure all teachers who are today have been students at some time or the other. And they must remember, why did they like one teacher? Why did they not like another teacher? And that's where your learning starts, because that's where you learn how to do things in a better way. The most valuable thing about a university is its atmosphere. Something to live that enters into the character of the and influences everything in this year. I know that many students who have gone out of this campus keep on remembering that there is an aura, something unique about this campus. The way Madhiji set up this PHU campus, that the whole purpose and the whole design brings in an environment, and that's what any education institution, depending on what kind of teachers are, what kind of relation they have, that can bring a permanent imprint on the students who go to that campus. They keep on remembering. The staff and the authorities of the university should set an example of integrity, efficiency, and upright behavior in the selection of the staff, in the distribution of awards and scholarship, in all their dealing with students. Now, this is, as teachers, we are directly dealing with students, but we are also involved in other spheres of university system, and that's what Razakshan says, and that's what we need to follow. So, teacher is a role model. A teacher must be committed man, committed to faith in the future of man, in the nature of humanity, in the future of humanity, in the future of country and the world. That's what a teacher has to do, because then only students can do something. I'm sorry if I'm talking a little philosophy, because to me that's important to learn about what we should have done. And I can tell you that partly because having read these has come into my mind as well in my philosophy, and I want to share all this understanding with all the colleagues. The profession of a teacher should not be reduced to a job. It's a calling, a vocation, a mission. Now this is important. It's not just 10 to 5 job that, okay, I make my attendance, mark my attendance, take a class and then go away. No, it goes beyond. Students are 24-hour students, and as a 24-hour job, it's a mission. Next one. When we think we know, we cease to learn. Now this is again important. As teachers, as I said, if I say, okay, I've been teaching for 6 years and I know everything, I'm lost, because then that's not the way. Teacher has to keep on learning, and that's how they can keep on increasing their knowledge and share that knowledge with the students. And teacher is a role model. An example isn't the way to teach; it's the only way to teach. That's what Albert Einstein stated. That is because as a role model, what we do, what we think, how we act, is what our students see, and they learn that way. And therefore, it's a great responsibility of teachers. Now, this is another Chesterton, a philosopher who wrote something. There's a great deal of difference between the eager man who wants to read a book and the tired man who wants to read, who wants a book to read. Now, I hope this is understood that I'm very keen to read this book. The other is, okay, I have nothing else to do, so let me open a book and read it. It makes a difference. Do students and teachers endure or enjoy their craft? Endure is, in Hindi we can say jhelna. Do the students and teachers endure each other? Then there's a problem, because if a teacher enjoys teaching, students enjoy learning. If the teacher endures teaching, students endure learning. And then things don't work out. What is enjoyed endures, but what is endured does not endure. This is a remarkable statement. And I think all teachers should need to learn this. If I love teaching, if I go to the class with great excitement and share my knowledge, students will enjoy. But if I go there because I have to be there, because of rules that I need to be spent 45 minutes in the classroom, know what it is, students will not like it. And I'm sure as teachers, we can remember our own student days, what we liked and what we did not like. And that should be an important point. And then he goes further to say, therefore, in the art of teaching, a teacher should emulate and inspire musician. Now, this is very important to understand. Who during a concert not only gets enthused and energized himself or herself, but has the same effect on the appreciative audience. The musicians get completely lost while performing the concert. And that's what a teacher should be. A teacher should be completely lost, oblivious of everything else but that teacher. And now the next part is what a teacher should not do again from our legal statement. When most teachers want to have good students who are studious and attentive. That spoils everything. Now we may wonder how we want good students, but what he says is, if you expect every student to be good and every student to be attentive, you destroy their theme. Not that we don't want them to be not attentive, but students begin to consult books to study to learn. Then they rely only on books, on what others say or write. They don't think themselves. Because this is what's happening. We keep on cramming things, all the coaching institutions and the success media that we are told. cram this, and we haven't learned anything. We quickly forget that. Essentially, the only thing you as a teacher should do assiduously is to teach them to know themselves and do their destiny. And a teacher should let the students analyze oneself. What path they will follow, to teach them to look at themselves, understand themselves, and what they want to be. That's what teachers should do. Let students decide what they want to do. And to give to live to learn is the most. I'm sorry, I'm not able to read. This is too small. Precious gift that one can make to a child. That if he can make the child to question, to be inquiring, that's the best gift that we can give. And this child can be our own child or can be a classroom student. Okay, next one. Why is quality of education poor? In our country, it's really poor. No matter what we say, see, it's something paradoxical. Our students, when they go out, US, Europe, they do great. But when we are back here, they're nowhere. Why? Why is this? Unfortunately, what's happening is, and this is something, it's not just me unnecessarily nationalistic something, but the Indian culture, Indian tradition, and maybe Indian genotype provides, facilitates us to do more abstract thinking, analytical thinking. But that can happen only when you give the right atmosphere, right conducive environment where analysis can flourish. But that doesn't happen. And the result is, because we go to classroom, teach them according to syllabus, okay, this topic is covered, I've completed syllabus. Now that's only passing on information. That doesn't do it well. But because of our overall better thing, some of our students, because I often stated this, they do well not because of us, in spite of us. Because they're inherently good, they do it. We try our best to destroy the originality. I'm sorry to say this, but this is what happens in most cases. Because if a student asks a question, don't ask this. Don't disturb me. This is something that we must not do. We should be encouraged. We make them to do better. And if we do that, I'm sure our community within the country will be much, much better than what it is today. Our education will be much better. Of course, we need atmosphere. We need suitable environment. Our environment scientists will tell that how does the environment can make a great difference to what we do. And that's where our university administration, our social structure needs to play an important role. Next one. So learning generates curiosity. Teaching process must capitalize more questions in minds of all learners. If I say, okay, I've explained everything, no questions should remain, I'm not taught anything. The knowledge is endless. And as I said before, when you know something, what you know is what you still do not know. And that curiosity must come in. Progress depends on curiosity-driven questions. New knowledge lets us to know what we still do not know. Learning never stops. A teacher must always remain a student. And as said earlier, that the example is another way to teach. It's the only way to teach. Next one. And the same thing, why is the quality of education poor? Men are born ignorant, not stupid. They are made stupid by education. And this is unfortunately what's happening in many cases. Many of us, see, they are first rank holder, everybody gets 90% marks today. Are they wiser? Are they better informed? Perhaps not. That's what it says. They are made stupid by education. The kind of education, the kind of cramming we make them, that's what we need to stop. Next. And then moral values are equally important because teachers provide knowledge and show the path. As the classical the Doha said, Guru Govind do khade kaake la ghum paaye, balihari Guru aapki Govind jo bataya. Guru is not taken to Govind. Guru has only shown the path. Which path will take to the good path, and that's what it is that they need to show the path, and that's moral responsibility. And I think we go back. The first rule of moral training is to suggest and invite, not to force. I cannot force that be good. If I'm good, my behavior will suggest to the person that's be good also. So the best method of suggestion is by personal example. And same the reduction will say, the university lesson, okay, this I think I've already listened, you can go next. So the university is a place of higher learning in diverse disciplines, learning based on existing as well as new knowledge created through research. That's the research becomes important. But universities are not only sharing knowledge, they are also centers for creating knowledge. So universities not only disseminate knowledge but also create new knowledge. As university teachers or college teachers higher education, we are to be involved in creating new knowledge. Not necessarily the highest rank, but some new knowledge, something about our day-to-day life, day-to-day living, or even that subject. The main point is the students must be made curious. These are things unknown. And therefore, university teachers are expected to engage in research activity in addition to the teaching responsibilities. And that's what Albert Einstein states, education not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. And I think with that, I'll stop and thank you for letting me have this opportunity to discuss and share my views.